All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking all things canoes, specifically all the different types of canoes out there.
That's right. We'll be drawing on some great info from the Motor City Paddle Club Kayak Rentals.
Yeah, they really seem to know their stuff. And trust me, by the end of this deep dive, you'll be a canoe expert too.
At least you'll know how to pick the perfect canoe for your next adventure.
Exactly. Okay, so imagine this. You're planning a trip, multi-day paddling trip, right through a bunch of beautiful lakes, totally immersed in nature.
Sounds amazing already.
Right. But the thing is, you've got to carry all your gear, camping gear, food, all that. What kind of canoe pops into your head?
Well, if we're talking about that kind of journey, a touring canoe is probably what you'd want.
Okay, touring canoes. What exactly makes those the go-to for longer trips?
Think about it. You need something efficient for those long distances, something that can carry a lot. And of course, it has to be tough enough to handle the journey.
Makes sense. So how do touring canoes check those boxes?
The shape is a big part of it. They're longer and narrower than your average canoe.
Kind of sleek looking.
Yeah, exactly. That sleek design is what helps them track straight and just glide through the water. Less effort, more distance.
So it's all about making those long paddling days a bit easier.
For sure. And the material matters too. Touring canoes, they're often made from things like Kevlar or fiberglass. Lightweight and strong.
So even with all that gear, it's not a backbreaker to carry.
Yeah, that's key, especially when you have to portage between waterways. Carrying the canoe over land to get to the next body of water. Not fun with a super heavy canoe.
Gotcha. So lighter materials, that's going to be a big help for solo paddlers too, right?
Absolutely. And actually, they even make specific solo canoes just for that. Smaller and lighter than tandem canoes.
So if you're looking for a quiet, peaceful solo adventure,
A solo canoe could be your best friend. Easy to handle, even in tricky spots.
cool. But not everyone's planning a multi-day trip or going solo. What about those folks who are just looking for a relaxing afternoon on the water?
Then we're talking about recreational canoes.
Okay, those sound more like what I picture for a casual day out, maybe with some friends, a picnic basket.
Exactly. Classic canoes, super stable, easy to paddle.
Yeah.
Wide, flat bottoms, usually made from really durable materials like polyethylene.
Polyethylene.
Yeah, it's tough stuff, can take a few bumps and scrapes. Perfect for families with kids, beginners, anyone who wants a stable, easygoing canoe experience.
Makes sense. You don't need to be a pro to enjoy a day out in a recreational canoe.
Right. But speaking of pros, we should talk about whitewater canoes. Those take a bit more skill.
Whitewater canoes. Okay, now those sound a little more adventurous.
Huh.
I'm guessing they're built to handle, well, whitewater, like rapids and fast currents.
You got it. They're designed to be tough, agile, shorter than other types usually, and they have this feature called rocker.
Rocker, what's that?
It's basically an upward curve at both ends of the canoe, the bow and the stern.
Interesting. Why the curves?
It helps them maneuver through all that rough water. Bounce off rocks, stay afloat, even when things get turbulent.
I see. So the rocker helps it ride those waves and rapids, and the material probably needs to be pretty tough to handle all that, right?
Exactly. You'll often see whitewater canoes made from something like Royalex. Super durable, resists impacts and scrapes.
So those canoes are really built to take a beating. I love how each type has its own distinct personality, you know?
For sure, each one is made for a purpose. Okay, let's switch gears for a second. Picture this. A misty morning, you're on a calm lake, casting your fishing line. Just you and the stillness.
Sounds super peaceful.
Yeah.
Is there a special canoe for that kind of scene?
You bet. It's called, surprise, surprise, a fishing canoe.
Okay, makes sense. So what makes them stand out from the others?
Well, they're built for stability, sometimes even stable enough to stand up and in cast. A lot of them come with rod holders, swivel seats.
So you can turn easily and face any direction.
Yep, all about maximizing comfort and convenience for a good day of fishing.
Love it. Okay, but what about people who might not have a ton of storage space? Are there canoes for them?
You're thinking about inflatable canoes.
Right, those are the ones you can pack up small. Right. Always been curious about those. What are they made of?
Usually tough stuff like PVC or nylon, puncture resistant. The whole point is that you can inflate and deflate them easily. Throw it in your car, store it in a small apartment, no problem.
So you can pretty much take it anywhere.
Right.
That's pretty awesome. Opens up a lot of options. Speaking of options, what about those canoes that have a motor?
You're talking about square stern canoes.
Oh yeah, square stern. That's what they're called. So you can paddle them or use a motor. That's cool.
Exactly. You get the best of both worlds. Paddle when you want the exercise and fresh air. Use the motor when you need to cover more ground. Or just to get to your favorite fitness spot quickly.
I like it. It's very versatile. Okay, last but not least, I got to ask about those canoes I've seen people doing tricks in, like spinning and stuff.
Those are freestyle canoes. They're all about pushing the limits of what you can do on the water.
So less about transportation and more about artistry, maybe.
Yeah, it's a blend of athleticism and artistry for sure. Freestyle canoes, they're narrower and shallower than others.
I bet that makes them easier to maneuver.
Definitely. Experienced paddlers can do all sorts of spins, turns, technical moves with them.
Sounds pretty challenging. It's like dancing on water.
It really is. And that pretty much covers the range of canoes out there. From casual paddling to whitewater adventures, there's a canoe for every style and every paddler.
It's amazing how many options there are.
And that's what makes it so exciting. It's all about finding the canoe that calls to you.
So it seems like there really is a canoe for everyone.
Absolutely. No matter what kind of paddling experience you're looking for, there's a canoe out there that's perfect for you.
It's all about finding the right match, right? Matching the
Mhm.
canoe to the adventure.
Exactly. So let's do a quick recap, just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Let's see, where do we start? Yes, touring canoes.
Those long, sleek ones, perfect for long-distance trips, multi-day adventures.
Right. Built for efficiency, all about gliding through the water.
And don't forget about those lightweight materials.
Oh, yeah, crucial for portaging, which, by the way, sounds like a workout in itself.
It can be,
Ah.
especially with a heavy canoe.
Okay, so touring canoes for those epic journeys. Then we talked about solo canoes, right? For the folks who want to go it alone, connect with nature on a deeper level.
Yeah, solo canoes, they offer a sense of peace and solitude you don't get with a tandem canoe.
And for those more casual, laid-back paddling days.
Recreational canoes, the classic choice, stable, easy to handle.
Perfect for families, beginners, anyone who just wants to relax and enjoy the scenery.
Right, and those are usually made from tough stuff like polyethylene, so you don't have to worry too much about bumps and scrapes.
And then, of course, we talked about whitewater canoes.
For the adrenaline junkies out there, those are the tough ones, built to handle rapids and rough water.
With that special rocker feature to help them maneuver.
Yep, the rocker's key for navigating those tricky waters.
Makes sense. So we've got touring canoes, solo canoes, recreational canoes, and whitewater canoes. But we also talked about some more specialized canoes, like those fishing canoes with all the bells and whistles.
Right, rod holders, swivel seats, all those features to make a day of fishing even better.
And speaking of convenience, what about those inflatable canoes? Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, super portable, easy to store. You can practically take them anywhere.
And they're surprisingly tough too, right? Made from those puncture-resistant materials.
Definitely. They're more durable than they might look.
Then there are those square stern canoes.
The hybrids, you can paddle them or use a motor.
Best of both worlds. And finally, the freestyle canoes.
Ah, yes, the ones for the truly skilled paddlers, those who want to show off their moves on the water.
Freestyle canoes, it's like a whole other level of paddling.
It is. It takes a lot of practice and precision to master those techniques.
Well, it seems like we've covered a lot of ground here, a whole lot of canoes.
We have. So as we move forward, what are some key things our listeners should keep in mind when choosing a canoe? What are the most important factors to consider?
Wow. We've really paddled through a lot of information, haven't we?
We have. It's been quite a journey exploring all these different canoe types.
It's amazing to me just how much variety there is out there.
It really shows you how much thought goes into designing these boats, each one built for a purpose.
Right, and each one offering a unique experience on the water.
Exactly. From those long expeditions in a touring canoe to just a peaceful afternoon in a recreational canoe, there's something for everyone.
And we can't forget about those whitewater canoes,
Yeah.
taking on the rapids. There's a whole other level of adventure.
Absolutely. And then you have the specialized canoes, like the fishing canoes, the inflatable canoes, even the square stern canoes, with the option of a motor.
So many choices. It's pretty exciting.
It is, and that's what we want our listeners to take away from this deep dive, that there's a perfect canoe out there waiting for them.
So as we wrap things up, let's leave our listeners with something to ponder.
I like it. A little food for thought.
Okay, so imagine this. You've learned about all these different types of canoes. Now, what kind of paddling adventure do you dream of? What kind of canoe calls to you?
Are you picturing yourself gliding across a calm lake, surrounded by nature in a sleek solo canoe, maybe a fishing rod in hand, just enjoying the peace and quiet?
Or maybe you're craving something a bit more thrilling, like navigating those whitewater rapids, feeling the rush of adrenaline as you paddle through the churning water.
Perhaps you see yourself on a multi-day trip with friends or family. paddling through pristine wilderness, camping under the stars, making memories that will last a lifetime.
Or maybe, just maybe, you're drawn to the artistry of freestyle canoeing, testing your skills, pushing your limits, expressing yourself through those intricate maneuvers on the water.
The possibilities are endless. It's all about finding what speaks to your soul. What kind of paddling adventure will you choose?
And remember, there's no right or wrong answer. The most important thing is to get out there, explore the waterways, and discover the magic of canoeing for yourself. Happy paddling, everyone!